Edo State government on Wednesday said the outgoing governor, Godwin Obaseki, will present a detailed handover note to the incoming government of Senator Monday Okpebholo despite boycotting of the Joint Transition Committee's meeting by the team of the All Progressive Congress. ATN reports that the Edo State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nehikare, stated this at a press briefing in Benin City. According to him, the incoming governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, will receive a detailed handover note from Governor Godwin Obaseki. He said, also on the e-governance platform, which is in the office of the governor, all financial transactions, all bank statements, all last financial accounts, and every single thing is accessible on e-governance in the office of the governor dashboard. This is the first time a government will be transiting from one political party to another in the state. So I don't think any APC government has ever done this in the state. They are now assuming a new role of being an inquisitor. We will not allow them to be an inquisitor. The transition committee is not the incoming governor. They are just a committee whose duty it is to come and verify projects and verify what we have done. That is the standard practice all over the world, he said. He added that 90% of what the APC committee is asking for is all contained in the documents presented to them. The commissioner, who said the outgoing governor, Obaseki, would only hand over to the governor-elect, Senator Monday Okpebholo, noted that the duty of the transition is to only verify the documents and data presented to them and not to assume the position of the governor. He said the state government asked the APC and the governor-elect for a list of its transition committee because it was a civilized thing to do when an outgoing government is leaving power to hand over to the incoming government. When you are handing over power, it is just the instrumentality of power, but everything you have done while you are in office to showcase to the incoming government what you have done for it to have an idea of the achievements and at times the challenges the government faced while it was in power. They refused to look at the documents and the projects we had done because they were overwhelmed with the documentation, pictures, facts, and data. Instead of them facing the issue of transiting, they turned the issue of inquisitor. They are asking questions that only a chief executive can pass on to the next chief executive. Everything they have asked for, we have them in all documents we are presenting to them. The listed 24 items they want us to attend to as if they are the ones dictating to the transition team. Edo State government does not take orders or instructions from members they brought in to come and do transition committee work, he added. Etienne recalls that APC Transition Committee members on Tuesday said they would be boycotting the joint meeting of the committee if the Edo State government did not provide it with the documents demanded from it. The spokesperson of the committee, Patrick Kariale, also urged the state government to make documents available to it 24 hours before the sitting time so that they would have the opportunity to read through the documents. Ugochukwu, what do you make of this story? Initially, you know, when Edo State government came out and asked Okpebholo to come up with a list of transition team and have a meeting with them at a scheduled date. You know, I was elated and I'm like, okay, this is democratic. This is what it should be. This is applaudable. Irrespective of the fact that Obaseki feels very differently about the outcome of the elections, yet he was willing to, you know, peacefully transit from his government to that of the APC.
Of course, he has no option.
but now, I mean, these issues are coming up. What do you make of this development in Edo State?
It is very common now that everything Nigerians play politics with it. I mean, this shouldn't elicit any squabbles. It shouldn't elicit any infractions or wrangling as it concerns the transition committee. This is just a political exercise. It is just a committee that is not even backed by any constitution. It is just friendship agreement, like a gentleman's agreement, so to say. We have had governors in Nigeria that didn't even, follow these rudiments or this due process in handing over. Still, the government that took over functioned. We also had that in Nigeria, when governments come into power, they say they mint empty treasuries. But when they are doing the transitional committee, they did not raise alarm that they are being handed over empty treasury. So what I'm seeing in what Nigerians do, as in quote, the transitional committees, is just a time for the incoming government and the already outgoing government to use that little window to also compensate their foot soldiers. It is a time they also make appointments to those that hitherto have not benefited from the so-called appointments. And Nigerians and the way they like acronyms, somebody will now tag his name, former member transition committee, so time. This is Nigeria for you. So the way I look at it, it should have been a family affair, so to say, knowing fully well that the essence of the meeting is what the commissioner have said, to know the challenges and what has been done by the outgoing government, which is also glaring to the incoming, because they are all citizens of Edo State and they are domiciled in Edo State. So the essence of this particular transition committee, if you look at how elaborated it is, you could not even remove the fact of what I've stated, that it is a time to just bring their friends and cronies and political associates together. Peradventure, those that will not serve in the commissioner nominees and all that, they will be members of the transitional committee. So it is a time that the APC and the Okpebholo camp will understand that this is a time for them to get acquainted with what is called liability and assets of the state. And also there is a meeting that will be held by the governor outgoing and incoming, where those executive, the office secrecy, those classified documents will be handed over to the governor. So this APC committee...
Could it be what they are demanding, no, that this Edo State government transition committee is saying that there are certain documents that will be handed over from the governor to the governor-elect, and instead of focusing on the documents being given to them, yes, they are now playing the role of an inquisitor, which means they are not dwelling more on the documents, because they said the documents presented to them included what they have been able to achieve so far,
yes, what they have done,
and the challenges and all of that. But apparently they have more interests, probably, and they are insisting that they are not, they cannot inquire that kind of information. That information is at the behest of the governor, which they have said is detailed in the dashboard inside the governor's office, and that Obaseki would hand over that sensitive or classified information to the governor-elect. But then the APC Transition Committee is saying that they are boycotting the transition meeting until and unless the Edo State Transition Committee hands over those documents or whatever it is that they are asking of them.
Funny enough, Nigerians like the rhetorics and the usage of language.
Right.
I read there that the chairman of the committee said that they are
which of them, Edo State or
from the APC,
right,
is saying that they are withdrawing from the meeting sine die. It's become really laughable. When I saw it, I laughed. I said, "Wow, politicians and the usage of words. How could they just a committee that even if they didn't sit, the transition will go on?" So this is just a road show, because whether that committee is set or not, the transition come on the day of transition, Obaseki will exit, and the Okpebholo will come in. So it is insignificant. That's why I said it's just a political exercise, just to rub minds and meet friends. So, but if APC committee is asking for the documents they ought not to ask for, that means they are not properly schooled of what the committee is all about and what the transitional committee should be looking into. You understand? They are not schooled. Because my father and my mom served as civil servants, and when I was still in secondary school, I knew what they call office secrets. Even where we schooled, you know that there are some certain informations that shouldn't get to certain people. It does not mean that you are denying them or you're lying to them, but for the fact they are not in position to know, you cannot relate such informations to them. So what I'm seeing is that APC in their usual way is playing politics. They want to play politics with everything. They want just to escalate and make noise and demean the person of Obaseki the more. You know, Obaseki now is like a drowning man, and then APC is trying to, you know, rub it to his face that we told you, so to say. So what they are saying is they just want to grab the headlines, you know, achieve cheap media publicity, and those things is that at the end of the day, it have shown you the leg of what Obaseki will face. Obaseki will be caught with the fallout of Obaseki with his strange deputy governor, the person of Philip Shaibu, the cross-carpeting of Dan Obi and most of the political PDP bigwigs, and the indifference and the irreconcilable differences between Obaseki and his estranged godfather, Adams Oshomole. And it is a payback time for Adams Oshomole to draw his blood from his being ousted as the chairman of APC. These are unforgivable sins that Obaseki has committed. So Obaseki will definitely have his days with EFCC, whether he presents A to Z, because they still want to drag his name. We know at the end of the day, it might not, nothing may happen, but they want to demean and demolish Obaseki's clout. You could see why I'm telling you that nothing will happen. You recall that in his sarcastic way, the former Ekiti State governor, in the person of Ayo Fayose, even after handing over, went immediately to EFCC wearing a branded T-shirt and said, EFCC, here I come, with his mat and his foot flags, ready to spend the night. And you could also see the funny and dramatic way that the case of, what do you call it, Iyeyabelo is going. So this is to a sense that Obaseki at the end of the day, if he can act one drama in Nigeria, his case is, because their immunity seems to be ad infinitum. They don't leave office and live without the immunity. This is the irony of the whole thing. You have served you recall 2 days ago, there is a president of one country that has been convicted of 20 years imprisonment for the infractions he committed while he served. So, but in Nigeria, you won't see such thing. So what I'm saying is that whether Obaseki organizes the most smoothest, the freest and the most transparent transition process,
he has stepped on toes.
He will still have his days.
All right, because
his name will be dragged.
he stepped on toes.
Yeah.